It is Aaron Sands, and welcome to King Talk Season 3. Let's get smarter.
Hey, what up? It's your boy Aaron Sands, and I know you're enjoying this episode of King Talk right now. But I want to dive in a little bit and talk about the Premier Boys podcast. You got me, Aaron Sands, Ken the Gentleman, the homie Roddy Rod, and long live the Chief Mally Mal, all in the building, talking about the hottest entertainment topics, the hottest news topics, and giving our own take on what's going on out here in these streets. It can get raunchy. It could get crazy. You might even be talking about somebody's mama. Who knows? But every Wednesday at midnight, check us out on Apple, Good Pods. Don't forget to drop that 5-star rating and all wherever else you hear your podcast. Now back to the show, man.
King Talk. Yeah, that's me. What up? It's your man's Aaron Sands, and we are back with another one. You already know what time it is. Welcome to King Talk. Hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully, everybody had a good week, or a good weekend. And if you didn't, kick back, relax, and let's enjoy some King Talk real quick, all right? So, hopefully, everybody's been doing well. You already know what it is. You see the title. You see the cover art. You already know what we're gonna get into. There's a lot been going on with this story, and honestly, there's a lot of lessons that will come along with that too when we talking about choosing wisely. But first, let me get a few announcements out real quick. This is the second to last episode of King Talk, and I definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking it out, seeing what's going on over the past few seasons. It's greatly appreciated, and I thank y'all and I love y'all for listening. We hit number one on Good Pods charts many different times, many times over, and I'm really big on how can I put this? I'm really big on celebrating those wins, even though it may seem small to some, but I like celebrating those wins because it only can propel me to what's next and what's further on down the road. And I'm looking forward to that. So, in the meantime, like I said in the last episode, the whole season of King Talk, from episode 1 to the series finale, all of it is still going to be on all streaming platforms. So definitely check that out. Take a listen, take a trip down memory lane with me real quick, you know what I'm saying? And then be on the lookout for all new stuff coming out sometime soon. But we're not going to waste no time. We're going to get right in it. So what we're talking about today is basically choosing wisely, right? Let's do a personal note real quick. We're going to get a little bit personal. So I spent a lot of time, right, not always making the best decision for me, certain jobs I took, might have not been the best. Certain ladies that I've dealt with, might have not been the best decision to make. Certain parties I've promoted, if you want to get into that. Certain parties I promoted might have not been the best option for me. You know what I'm saying? It might have not worked for my situation. It may have been great for the team, but it may not have been great for me. You know what I'm saying? So I think about that a lot. I think about the decisions that I made, and some of them were great, and others, well, let's just say I didn't choose wisely on, and I had to, really either pay for those decisions or look back and then have regrets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I look back and sometimes I have regrets in some decisions, not all. There's some decisions I made where I didn't make the best decision for myself and I made it for other people, and that didn't bode so well from me. It was great for everybody else. Everybody else having a fun time, turning up, doing what they got to do. They doing what's for them, but I didn't do really what's for me. Right? So, couple weeks, whenever you guys decide to listen to this episode, I'm going to be a husband. Right? I'm going to be a husband, and I'm really going to give it a shot and be the best husband that I could be to what I feel is the hottest woman in the world. And I feel like that's the best. That's one of the best decisions I could ever make, and that's something I can never, you know, there's certain things I regret. This is not one of them. Not at all. Looking back over the years, I'm reflecting on like the good and the bad and everything, and I asked myself, I'm like, yo, would you do it again? Would you take this route when you was at the point where you was like, you know what, I'm just about to move to Jersey, be on my own shit, you know what I'm saying, be on my bachelor shit and see what's good, or do I move to Poughkeepsie and actually build on something, actually put something in the works with somebody that actually likes me and not just like me for, not just like me for like what I could do or everything like that, or where I work or things of that nature. Like somebody that actually likes me, you know what I'm saying? I always tell dudes, right? Like you never want to go for the girl you like. You always want to go for the girl that likes you. You know what I'm saying? Because when that girl likes you, you don't necessarily have to, you don't have to focus on getting her to like you. She's already there. You know what I'm saying? She already likes you. She already, is into you. She's already about you. You know what I'm saying? So now that kind of frees you up to focus on your purpose, to focus on your goals. You know what I'm saying? Focus on your dreams, focus on things you want to build on. And you're going to be, great at whatever it is you undertake because you have somebody behind you that's like, cheering you on and making sure you on code and you on task on what you should be focusing on and not be focusing on the bullshit. You understand? So in that situation, I chose wisely, especially with a lot of the relationships that I've been in my time. This is not something like before anybody decides to clip this and put this somewhere. Like I'm not naming names in this shit, but yeah, there are some situations that I look at, you know, that I was in back then that I look at now and I'm like, shit, I'm glad I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad I didn't stick around, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad I didn't stick around. I'm glad that, I left when I left, you know? I'm happy about that. That brings me peace. That brings me joy, because I knew where it could have went, and I knew that I didn't want to be there, and I knew I wanted better for myself. So once I knew that, everything else kind of came into play, and I started to make better decisions. I started to make better choices in the way that I moved, with certain situations. I stopped looking for smash downs and I started looking for security. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, not security in the sense of, oh, I need somebody to shield me, but security in the sense of after a long day of work, this is somebody I can just sit there and help secure, if you will, my peace. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I've completed that mission. I really did. I feel like I completed that mission, and I'm happy about that. This is the best choice that I've made. This is the best choice that I made in a long time, and I don't regret any of it. So yeah, I say all of that to say this, right? When you make the best choices for yourself, right? When you make the best choices for yourself, you don't know whether it's going to be the best one or the worst one. But if you feel like it's the best one for you, then you make that. At the same time, whatever choice you make, that's going to be like, you got to sit with that. You know what I'm saying? You really got to sit with that, whether it's for better or worse. And for me, like, this is one of the ones that was like, all right, I'm proud of. Whether it's good or bad, I could sit with this because I can sit with this because this is something that no matter where it would have went, I'm proud of. Like I'm going to put my all into that. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to make a powerful choice, make sure you put your all behind it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you put your all behind it. You're on that shit 10 toes down. It's damn near part of your purpose. All right. Um. So you're probably wondering, in saying all of that, right? What the hell this got to do with Johnathan Majors? Like, and I get it, and I'm glad. I'm glad that was. I'm glad we were able to like mention and talk about that because he'd been going through a lot of craziness over the past few months, and basically got caught up on a assault and harassment charge um after a domestic dispute with his 30-year-old girlfriend. You know, according to Giant Freaking Robot, um they apparently he got arrested on March 25th, and he got into it with his lady at the time. And according to the Manhattan DA's complaint, Majors allegedly, oh, fuck, this is what happens when you smoke before a pod, your tongue get heavy. That's crazy. That's not good for everything, but it's good for some things. Majors allegedly struck her in the face with an open hand, leading to the alleged victim sustaining minor injuries to her head and neck. Majors' attorneys claim to have written statements from the woman where she recanted her statement, shared currently unverified text message screenshots to TMZ, and then filed video evidence in an attempt to prove his innocence. That's what the attorneys found, basically. But a lot of basically with all of these, with the whole arrest and allegations and everything, apparently there's rumors that there's evidence that disputes the first case, but there's apparently more women coming out. Now, what the women are saying, what those group of women are saying, I'm not quite sure because nobody really heard much. And I ain't gonna hold you. After a while, it kind of looks like cap, but that remains to be seen. I don't want to. Well, we're already speculating, but yeah, like it kind of looks like cap because if you have a lot of women speaking out by that time, you would think like somebody would come out and be somewhere because it's a hot story. People are talking about it. Shit, I'm talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big deal. Apparently, even though he's still waiting his day in court, there's been several developments in the fallout of the accusations. The first I remember seeing this because as soon as this whole story broke, he was supposed to be dropping a U.S. Army ad. He supposed to had the biopic with Otis Redding. Bro, he was Kang. He's supposed to be Kang. You feel me? From Ant-Man. He's gonna be like the real, like the new bad guy. He'll be the new Thanos for Phase 4. That's gone. You know what I'm saying? He lost a whole lot during this whole situation. You know what I'm saying? He was just in Creed 3. Matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? So the whole, to be fair, that Kang bag, that Marvel bag, would have definitely solidified him, especially if he, since people are really starting to like pick up and he's about to get at this point, this is the most eyes he's got his whole career, right? Because before that, he was doing Lovecraft Country on HBO, and with that, like that got him some eyes, but it wasn't like great. It wasn't like what it is right now. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like what it was like a month ago. You know what I'm saying? When Ant-Man was like the biggest movie out here. And then like he was literally in two of the biggest movies this spring and then lost all of it before the summer came. I've never seen so much loss. So I never see somebody get hit with the rocket so fast just for it to all die down so quickly. And it's insanity because with everything that's going on, a lot of dudes are getting canceled like that. Now granted, some of them need to get canceled, to be fair. So there's a few directors out there that been kind of moving a little shaky. So listen, some of y'all dudes need to get packed the fuck up real quick. But there's a lot of dudes that's getting canceled, and they haven't really done much. You know what I'm saying? They haven't really like it came come to find out it was Cat. Johnny Depp is one for instance. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of other dudes. I can't think of it off the top, but Johnny Depp is the biggest one that comes to mind because everybody know Amber Heard was lying, and then come to find out she was, and then there we go. You know the rest. So when it came down to that, you know, having like being able to have all of those eyes on you, and then for a situation like this to happen is a big deal. But I'll also say, Johnathan Majors ain't choose wisely either. Why is that? Well, listen, one thing I find always to be true is that you are the sum of the people you hang around with, right? Let me give drop another personal situation real quick. Not never, well, not never, I don't want to say that. I haven't got into like an actual throw down, drag out fight with anybody in almost like 6 years. I haven't really thrown like hands this decade. Now, don't get me wrong, the skills are still sharp. I still practice, I still get my time in. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that I'm just all I got ring rust out here. I will take your fucking head off. Like for real. But I haven't had to take somebody's head off in so long. Why is that? Because I'm hanging around people who, instead of bringing war, they bring peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping myself out of situations that will cause me to actually have to take a dude head off. You know what I'm saying? I'm not inserting myself into situations where things can go left. Now, could you do all of that and still not avoid it? I mean, yeah, perhaps. But shit, don't make it easy on niggas. Like, come on. Like, would you rather make a good choice, make a choice that will benefit you, in order to prevent something, or make a terrible choice or don't do nothing at all, which is still a choice, and then letting it happen because you feel it may happen anyway? Like, that doesn't really make much sense. Like, come on. I had to put myself in certain situations to change to, not have myself in certain. I had to change certain situations to not have myself in certain situations in the future. Could this woman be lying? Perhaps. She wouldn't be the first. She wouldn't be the last. But let's say it is true. Then that young man, Johnathan Majors, didn't choose wisely, and honestly, it's costing him his career. Could he get it back? I mean, yeah, sure. Will Smith trying to make a comeback. You know what I'm saying? He could probably get it back, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of loss. You already lost a lot of hefty amount of a bag. It's going to sound like this is really hard to come from. And the reason why you got yourself in this situation is just you didn't choose wisely on the type of ladies you be around. Now, could you have known that this would have been a thing? I mean, maybe not. But why take the risk? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Like, why be at the bar that night? You know what I'm saying? Why not do a home movie situation? Why not put yourself in a situation? Why not put yourself in a mindset of like a Keanu Reeves where? And I'm not trying to say, oh, you need to be like Keanu Reeves. Nah, bro. But he does this, and it's a good thing to take on. It's a good thing to think about. Like, even when Keanu Reeves takes pictures with ladies, you don't even got hands on them. Like, you literally see his hands. You see his hands in the picture all the time. The palm of his hands is in the picture, right? And you don't see him really touching it. Even, I'm pretty sure his arm's not really wrapped around anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, during those type of times. So he's literally making the choice to not put himself in a situation that could be detrimental to his career. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Johnathan Majors did that. He didn't take that risk. He didn't take those measures. And when you choose not to take those measures, you get into situations like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't move around like everything's lit, bro. Everybody got eyes on you more than ever, which guess what? That makes you what? A lick. It makes you a lick, especially on situations like this. She could be lying right now, but you know, in the climate we're in, it's going to be really hard for you to prove that, and not as hard for her to be like, well, that ain't true. You know, so it comes down to choices, man. We gotta, like, at the end of the day, we gotta make better choices, whether it's, you know, something as impersonal as, you know, you're trying to like lose some pounds, or you're trying to watch what you eat, or even bigger ones like, you know, what you want to do for your career. You know, I had a conversation with my client the other day, and she's like, listen, like, I know you used to working in a certain way, but you got to look at this. You got to look at your position more or less as a career than just a job, you know? And to a sense, she got a point, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, where I'm at, you know, it started off as a job, you know what I'm saying? And it became a career because I made it to the point where it could become a career because I made certain choices for that to be so. I had to make it so. And when you choose to make it so, it can either go good or it can go bad. You know what I'm saying? Depending on, you know, all of the sub choices you make after making that big choice. You know what I'm saying? Um, Moral of the story with this, because I didn't want to take this too long. Moral of the story with this shit is basically this: like, you know, you got to be mindful of your decisions. You gotta be mindful of your choices and be able to live whatever decisions you make. You know what I'm saying? Because chances are you're not gonna get struck by lightning, you're not gonna get hit by a bus, and you're gonna pretty much have to live with this shit for the next 50 to 60 years. All right. Would you want to be in a situation where you made those choices and then 50, 60 years later, you're like, I bet I made the decisions, I did the work, and I'm glad to be where I'm at? Or do you want to spend the next 50, 60 years in regret? You know, a lot of that comes down to us, man. We the biggest, we're really the biggest, you know, heroes and villains. We're the biggest heroes and villains in our story. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part about it is we actively write the stories while playing those roles. You know what I'm saying? So really, this shit is all on us. We are the writers of our dreams and the authors of our destiny. I don't know who quote that is, but if that's not nobody's, that's mine. Fuck that shit. Talking about it. But, you know, prayers up for Johnathan Majors. Hopefully he beats the case and gets back to the thing that he loves the most, which is acting. Because it can't be these hoes. Just saying. That's it. That's all I got for this episode. The second to last episode of King Talk with Aaron Sands. I want to thank y'all for listening. I love and appreciate y'all for listening. Per usual, you can follow me on Aaron Sands Premier on Instagram. Link in the description. King Talk Sands on Good Pods and Twitter. Link in the description. The grand finale episode of King Talk with Aaron Sands. That's next week. Check it out on all streaming platforms. You're on everything, including Spotify. We still getting them numbers off that. You already know what it is. But until then, also check me out on Premier Boys Podcast. You already know what it is. Every Wednesdays, all streaming platforms except Spotify. We may be back on that. I gotta check with my executive producer on that. But check us out on all other streaming platforms. Check out the Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast with the bro, Ken the Gentleman. You already know what it is. Check him out every Sundays. Star Time with the boy Roddy Rod. Every Mondays, I think he just dropped a new episode. Shout out to him on that holding down number one on the documentary charts. You know, it's a big deal. Keep it up. You already know what it is. The Bridge, long live the chief, the tribal chief, Mally Mal, coming up soon. How soon? I don't know. You gotta ask him. But yeah, until then, until next Wednesday on Premiere Boys. Oh wait, hold up. Nah, we ain't gonna be on Premiere. Nah, that's not. Nah, we on break. Hold up. The new episode just dropped. We on break, bro. Fuck all that. We'll see y'all like in June. But until next Friday, you already know what it is. If I'm on the mic, it's King Talk. Thank you for listening. Take care.
This is Star Roddy Rod, and you are now listening to King